Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk about the fate of Noble 3, Spartan Jun-A266, the only surviving member of Noble Team, and his fate following the events of Halo Infinite. But firstly, this is my first video after Christmas, so hopefully you guys had a good Christmas. And secondly, I want to announce a new sponsor of the channel for the next year, FameHype, who set me up my own website, HiddenXperiaBusiness, that acts basically as a storefront for officially licensed and provided Xbox and PC game codes. Microsoft and Xbox provide these codes, so they come from a legitimate source, and if you buy them through this website, then your boy gets a little bit of a kickback, which is always nice. You can buy Xbox Live credit, Xbox Live Gold, you can buy Game Pass codes, you can buy actual games, you can buy Halo Infinite credits, but I wouldn't recommend you do that. There's loads of cool stuff to buy in here though, so if you're looking at spending some Christmas money on some Game Pass codes or Xbox Live codes or credit or anything like that, then, you know, maybe consider using this site and supporting your boy. But honestly, watching my videos is as much support as I would ever ask from you guys. I appreciate it so much. Now, you've read that title and you're probably wondering, was Jun in Halo Infinite? Did I miss some massive plot point or Easter egg or something? Well, no, calm yourself, soldier, you missed nothing, don't you worry. The discussion about Jun's potential fate comes from this cutscene right here, where Cortana orders the destruction of Laconia Station.
You have served me well, Leonidas. Your sacrifice is appreciated.
Understood. Goodbye, Cortana.
Now, to those who maybe haven't read the books, this probably won't mean much, but those who read Bad Blood know why this is significant, so let me explain. After the events of Reach, Jun hung his Mjolnir up and became the lead recruiter for the Spartan 4 program, recruiting several notable Spartans, including Sarah Palmer, Buck, and the rest of Alpha 9 to all become Spartan 4s. In this new high-up executive position, he wound up stationed aboard the highly classified facility in which the Spartan 4s are trained. Now, for the longest time, we had no idea what the name of the station was, however, in Halo Infinite, it's revealed to be Laconia Station. So, skipping forward a few years to 2558, at the onset of Cortana's created uprising and in the days following the end of Halo 5, Buck and Alpha 9 travelled to Laconia Station as a part of a highly classified operation to rescue Mickey Crespo, previously of Alpha 9, now a disgraced, imprisoned rebel who was responsible for the death of the Rookie. During their breakout effort, they encountered the smart AI Leonidas, the AI in control of Laconia Station, and immediately, Buck noticed that something was wrong. Leonidas was acting rather odd. When Buck asked to see Jun, Leonidas insisted that he had been indisposed, that he was sleeping after having been awake for days in the wake of Cortana's uprising. However, later on, Buck discovered that Leonidas had shut the oxygen off in Jun's room, essentially holding him hostage unconscious. Leonidas had officially defected to the Created, Laconia Station was compromised, and Jun, its human leader, was out of the question. Throughout the hour or so that they spent on Laconia freeing Mickey, they never once encountered Jun. However, when Buck disables Leonidas, he does end up waking up, contacting them over the radio to warn them of the punishment for freeing a prisoner, especially a prisoner held aboard Laconia. But that given the current climate in the universe, it could be forgiven. Jun is then present briefly throughout the rest of the book, but Bad Blood ends up being the last that we hear of Jun in the post-created Uprising universe. And by the end of the book, he is still on Laconia, so that means, by extension, a year later, when Cortana contacts Leonidas and has him destroy the station, he should have still been aboard, which means that theoretically Jun is dead. But let's not jump the gun just yet. Just remember who we're talking about here, right? Jun, the ghost of Noble Team, the only surviving member of his squad who somehow managed to survive and escape the fall of Reach, then survive the entire Human Covenant war, and come out the other end with an extremely important job. All without a scratch. Jun is one slippery bugger of a Spartan. He survived some of the most unsurvivable events in Halo universe history, and so I have no doubt that he managed to survive the destruction of Laconia Station. I mean, come on, compared to surviving Reach and the Human Covenant War, one station exploding is small potatoes for Jun. He's survived much worse. Granted though, I do find the idea of Jun just fleeing the station once he regained consciousness and realised that Leonidas was compromised to be kind of odd. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, right, Jun would have definitely tried to warn all the other Spartans and all the staff members aboard and at least try to lead some kind of coordinated effort to get them all off safely. There's no way in hell he'd just leave them all behind on the station to die. But then again, maybe he did, maybe he had to. Maybe the only way he could flee was if he did it alone and quietly, and honestly, that might not surprise me that much given that Jun tends to excel operating both alone and quietly. That said though, there's roughly about a year between when Alpha 9 visit Laconia Station and when Cortana has Leonidas destroy it. We don't know exactly when Cortana had it destroyed, but we can assume that it was when Cortana was on Zeta Halo, which was in late 2559, which is roughly a year after the end of Halo 5. And needless to say, a lot can happen in a year, especially for a character like Jun. When you've got a big evil AI space dictator who's policing every known species in the galaxy and holding entire planets hostage with massive weaponized foreign and mega constructs, I don't know, all sense of rationality kinda goes out the window. So ultimately the fate of Jun definitely does hang in the balance, there's no doubt about that. But you've got to remember the character that we're talking about here. I mean, Jun will have absolutely made sure he was off Laconia Station before its destruction, I can guarantee. And furthermore, if we approach this from a more practical kind of real-world perspective, 343 themselves know how much people love Reach and love Noble Team in particular. I mean, hell, they themed and marketed the entire first season and entire multiplayer of Halo Infinite around Reach Spartans and Noble Team in particular. And after the rather preemptive and absolutely fan-hated deaths of Black Team, the Didact, the Rookie, Julum Dharma, etc, especially the Rookie by the way, who was literally killed off-screen, 343 know not to kill game characters off in a book or outside the games, and especially not in a scenario that's only addressed twice in the game for the pure purpose of raising the stakes. They know not to do that, and they especially know not to do that for characters that are as beloved as Jun. So I'd say if you're worried that he might be dead, I wouldn't worry, to be honest with you. I would be legitimately shocked if they killed Jun off on Laconia Station. Hopefully at some point soon we do get a story or just something that addresses Jun's fate, because I don't like them leaving it kind of hanging out in the balance. I would like to have some resolution on this just to kind of satiate the 0.01% of my mind that thinks he might be dead. Just some kind of closure on Jun's fate would be fantastic. I mean, hell, I'd actually really like it if he somehow made his way back into the main narrative. I mean, don't get me wrong, as much as I'd love to see it happen, I think it's rather unrealistic to expect him to start wearing Mjolnir again and taking the hats off elites, or I guess brutes now, at 2,000 yards, but I mean, you never know, but I would like to see him make his way back into the main narrative in some capacity. So, with that said, let me know what you think happened to Jun down below in the comments. Do you reckon he's dead? Do you reckon he's alive? Do you think that he's floating in space somewhere, waiting for some random pelican to come up and scoop him up and take him off to safety? Let me know down below in the comments. And with that said, I'm going to round this one out here. I want to give a massive thank you to Chase Jones and King Civil for both becoming Primordials over on Patreon, and to Taylor for becoming an iconic one. Thank you very much, friendos, I really appreciate that, and of course to everyone else who continues to support me over there as well, and thank you all so much for watching, I really do appreciate it. Once again, I hope you all had a great Christmas, and I'll catch you all in the next one.